It's Nolan. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music and entertainment news, commentary, and breakdowns. We're going to get into a few things, man. As y'all can see in the thumbnail here, we got quite a few different people. Nice cast of characters here. We've got Amanda Seales, who we're going to get into first. We've got NCAA star Angel Reese, who's actually about to declare herself to the WNBA draft, probably going to be one of the top picks this year. We've got Keith Lee. We've got Derrick Lambert, aka Mr. I Ain't Fresh. If y'all haven't seen that, we're going to get into that in a minute. And we've got Tamera Mowry, and we've got a couple other things that we're going to get into as well. This is going to be one of our talk sessions. So, of course, we go over multiple news stories, talk about them, and, give our perspective and try to have a good time in the meantime. You feel me? So, first up, we're going to get into Amanda Seales. Now, as we all know, she's been going through a rough time on social media lately. Not just social media, but just her place in Hollywood, how she's been treated, all of those different types of things. Now, a couple weeks ago, she came out and was talking about how she hasn't ever been invited to the NAACP Image Awards. She hasn't been invited back to the BET Awards since she was able to host in 2020. I think it was very obvious why she was invited to host in 2020. I believe that was around the time of George Floyd and all of that type of stuff. So it was very Black Lives Matter driven. So it was it seemed like the brands aligned at that time, being that she does speak on a lot of racial issues and she advocates on behalf of Black issues, which is why she feels so outcasted and lambasted at this point. She was trying to understand why these publications and why these big organizations seem to overlook her, even though she's dedicated her life towards, advocating on behalf of Black people. In that video, I kind of broke down some of her, I guess, downfalls, maybe shortcomings or missteps that have happened along the way. I think a big issue that people, we're not necessarily privy to all the details, but when she had that public fallout with Issa Rae, a lot of people looked at her like, what the fuck did you do? You know what I'm saying? Um, some people don't fuck with her because she advocated on behalf of Sean King. He's a very controversial figure, one of these guys that tries to act like he's an activist, but he's actively been known for SAing people, ripping people off, getting young women to come work for him and his organization without paying them, then creating sexual relationships with them in the midst of not paying them. These are things that have come out and been spoken about numerous times. So for her to advocate on behalf of him when we don't even know if he's fully Black, you know, so that was questionable. Outside of those issues, I don't really know why people don't like her. I think anybody that's outspoken, you're going to fall on one side of the coin. You know what I mean? And depending on the day, any day could be your day. And sometimes you're going to have a lot of days where you end up on that opposite side of the coin, where people are at odds with your opinion, with people that you might be aligning yourself with. Some people just want you to shut the fuck up. I experienced that on my own channel. Some people be like, man, just shut the hell up, man. Why are you even speaking about this? Or you just did this for clickbait or whatever. And it's like, dog, get the fuck off my channel if you don't like what I'm talking about over here. I didn't beg you to come over here, nigga. The fuck? I ain't seen you no email to show up here. I ain't cold call your ass. So, you know, with her, I was just basically trying to explain, like, when you get into this place, and this is something that I was talking about yesterday as well with the social media influencer Ray Monte. When you're in position to be an influencer or a celebrity or somebody like a public figure, and you're using your voice and you're using your talents and creativity to try to propel yourself in life, not everybody is going to support you. Not everyone is going to like you. And even those up here, the upper crust, the people that have the means and the opportunities and all of the things that you want that could get you where you want to go, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get to that level. It's not guaranteed that those people are going to help you. It's not going to be guaranteed that those people even see your contributions as valuable enough to waste their energy or time, and that's in their perspective, to even justify you with a response, acknowledgement, or anything. So these are things that you have to understand. Me in my position, I understand that. I'm younger than a lot of people out here. I think I'm younger than Amanda Seales. But I'm going to go ahead and play a video of her because she's extremely disappointed with the way that she's been treated by the black community. She's very disappointed by black publications that have, uh, in her time of trying to understand what's going on, she feels like they're dogpiling on her. And I do want to kind of be a little sensitive to that. I want to hear her out and at least give her the opportunity to let her voice be heard. I'm sure that the consensus is going to be divided, but again, I want to at least allot her the opportunity to get her point across, and then we can evaluate it from there. All right. So she came out yesterday. I had no idea, but she had some things to get off her mother effing chest. Right. Bear with me as I try to pull this clip up. Here we go.
Honestly, I've had enough. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Really? 3 pieces. 3 from 3 people I have never met in my life. From 3 publications that are supposed to be about uplifting black people, which is all I have dedicated my life to doing. Shit! What hubris do I have? You people literally cannot stand that someone has studied and is speaking on what they studied, that someone has read and is speaking on what they read. You can't stand that someone loves us, so much that their passion is so exemplary and is exuding through the phone that it touches people who literally have never felt love that much and they don't know how to process it. That's what you're feeling. I want to send all the love to everyone who has shown me love. But you people who are continuing to attempt to break me down, you will not break me. You cannot break me. I am loved. I am anointed. I am touched. I am working through the blood of our ancestors. You will not break me. And it is so sad that you are so broken that this is the effort that you would take to try and get some clout. And you know what? Let's say I did get broken. Y'all will be the first ones to be like, see, y'all be doing too much. No, big up to all my strong black women who are supporting other strong black women and every other person supporting us. We love you. The rest of y'all can suck up.
All right, so as we can see, Amanda Seales definitely got very emotional. And again, I understand where she's coming from. She feels as though she's not getting the respect she deserves. She feels as though she's not getting the support she deserves. And I think she also feels like, hey, if y'all don't like me, if y'all don't fuck with me or whatever that may be, whatever the case may be, at least give me the benefit of not talking about me. Don't say anything negative. Don't try to persuade people's opinion about me. Just let me ride, let me live, let me exist. And for the people that I am their cup of tea, allow me to serve them. Right? And unfortunately, that's just not the world we live in, But what I do want to go ahead and pull up is the article that she's talking about. I want to see for myself what they're saying, and determine from my own, from my own perspective, what's being said, whether I agree or disagree. I have not actually looked up this article outside of what she said in the video. I don't know anything about this. So we're going to experience this together. If you've read it before, if you've already seen it, that's cool. But for those that haven't, we're going to run through this thing once and for all. So at the top, the article is titled, Amanda Seales is not a victim of anything but her own hubris. They go on to state, this is an opinion piece. Amanda Seales recently complained about not being supported by black media or invited into black spaces, and she seemingly does not understand why people don't rock with her. This is written by Monique Judge. Let's hear what they say. Editor's note, this following article is an op-ed opinion. So she says, she introduces herself first. She says, I am an outspoken, highly opinionated black woman. My friends will tell you that I am no shrinking violet. I take up space everywhere I go, and I am not afraid to voice my opinion when the need arises. Because of this, I'm well aware that I can rub some people the wrong way. I accept that, and I own it fully as par for the course. As an outspoken, highly opinionated black woman with a large platform who regularly publishes content that gets people of all types, black, white, or otherwise, in their feelings, I know that it is going to come with a certain amount of backlash, either in the form of comments on my social media posts or nasty emails or comments left on my personal website. I've even had people try to reach out to the publications I write for in an attempt to have me canceled. It's a thing. I also know that I haven't always gotten it right. I have been called out before for having a bad take. When it happened, I took a moment to think about what people were saying to me, thought about what I said, and was able to understand how what I said may have been stated incorrectly or been easy to misinterpret based on the way I worded it. I took those opportunities to either clarify what I meant, explain my point further, or own my erroneous take. It's not that hard. Amanda Seales recently went viral on social media after complaining that she was not invited to the NAACP Image Awards. She believes that black media is not supportive of her. Amanda Seales and I agree on some things. I'm always here for calling out white supremacy and the systems in this country that have been put in place to keep black people subjugated and marginalized. I applaud her willingness to tackle these topics and speak out about them loudly and unapologetically. Sometimes Amanda Seales gets things wrong too. And it's not about her delivery, as she noted in her video. It's about the problematic things she says. Take, for example, the time she actively attacked Samaria Rice, the mother of Tamir Rice, after Samaria called out Sean King for fundraising in the name of her dead son. Samaria felt Sean King was using her son to raise money for himself while nothing was going to the family, even though King himself made claims that the money was for the family. It's no secret that I have side-eyed SK, she wrote on Instagram. However, bigger picture, nobody finds it somewhat odd that she's just out of the blue going out of her way and being given every platform with no receipts shown to call out one by one black activist organizers that have been the visible faces of the movement. Just food for thought. So this is a direct quote from Amanda Seales talking about how she was side-eyeing Tamir Rice's mother when she was simply calling out this guy for fundraising in the name of her dead son. You know, I told y'all in the beginning she was advocating and supporting Sean King, who we all seem to agree isn't the most digestible person in the black community. Okay, we're going to keep going. Samaria Rice was asking that her murdered son's name not be used for profit by those who didn't care about him or his family, and Amanda Seales managed to find fault in that. So much so that she inserted herself into a conversation that had absolutely nothing to do with her. Calling out Samaria Rice and implying she had an agenda against movement activists is nasty work, and Amanda was rightfully called out for it. Then there was the time in October 2017 when she got on Twitter to say, if you're buying Jordans and Nike suits, but you don't have a passport, you're losing. Okay? That's a very old tweet. I think in the last, 7 years, I'm sure her opinion may have changed, or maybe she would do things differently had she said that today, but once you put it out there, some people will never let it go. The internet is forever. People keep trying to tell us that. So the fact that she brings it up is not, it's not in the realms of, it's fair game. She continues, passports are not accessible for everyone. There are people who cannot afford to go out of town for the weekend, let alone travel to a foreign country. So what good does a passport do them? That's pretty effective. That's honest. Jordans and Nike suits are not the cheapest shit. They're only going up in price these days. So you can definitely afford to pay the $200, $250, hell, the $500 for the expedited passport if that's your thing. Yeah, you can do that if you got Jordans and Nike suits. However, that doesn't mean that you got the money to plan for a trip. Doesn't mean that you're going to have the money to buy plane tickets, hotel, lodging, travel, food, expenses. We don't know if they can even get the time off work. Some people don't even have paid time off work. If they miss a day, that shorts their check. So whenever this statement was made, again, October 2017, I'm sure she wasn't thinking that. And this is something that happens to a lot of people that are in the entertainment industry, people that are somewhat, living the entrepreneurial life. You get so consumed into that you forget that everyday working citizens have a totally different set of problems than that you face. It doesn't mean that your problems are less important. It just means when you make certain statements, you can isolate yourself from a lot of the people that are supporting you, watching you, or just going through day-to-day life, not fucking bothering nobody, but then they gotta feel less than from a comment made by a so-called celebrity. So I understand her calling this out, and I understand why. She says, why do we denigrate people who don't have the same amount of money or privilege that we do? We live in a very lopsided capitalistic society where Jordans and Nike suits are a lot more attainable and attractive to some people than foreign travel. Some niggas just don't want to go, and that's their prerogative. Calling people losers because they don't have the same amount of privilege as you is misguided at best and disgusting when you really think about it. When called on to explain herself, she doubled down on her comments. Damn. She says, I made a comment that I still stand behind, which was that if you can afford multiple, that's why I said with an S, Jordans, we must assume that when we say Jordans, we are not simply referring to one pair and Nike suits, plural. So that's multiples, she told Essence Magazine. A full Nike suit is like $350. The pants are like $200, sometimes even $500, depending on which ones you get. She says Jordan's $200 to $250 minimum. If you can afford multiples of these things and you do not have a passport, you're losing. Somehow that statement turned into Amanda Seales as a classist petty bourgeois who is passport shaming the impoverished black community. It kind of sounded like you were, because again, you don't know how many paychecks it took for these niggas to get these full Nike suits or Jordans, right? And why are you policing what niggas wear? Nobody's asking you where you getting your shit from. So, I understand the point that she's made, and I've made similar point to people, but I think it's all about what it is in context, right? Again, you don't know if people are looking to travel outside the US or go to different countries or do these different types of things. I've said this to people that want to get involved in music. If your dream is to get involved in music, you're complaining that you're being overlooked. You're complaining that you don't have any opportunity, but you're spending money on Nike suits, Jordans, weed, cigarettes, liquor, vices. You know what I'm saying? But then you say you don't have the money to go to the studio. You don't have the money to pay for promotional items. You don't have the money to pay for marketing, which is understandable. But you're not willing to save. You're not willing to put that, that money that you would allot towards those things that you actively are paying for, either daily, weekly, monthly. I understand that part, because you're telling me that this is a dream of yours. This is something that you actively want to do. This is something that you want to do with your life, a career path that you say you want to go down. But you telling me you ain't got it, but I see you dressing better than me. That could be an issue. But to just put it out there, like, if you ain't got a passport and you doing this, nigga, some people are highly content with the fact that they're never going to leave the country. And you may have your point of view about those people and their thought process, but you can't force them to change that. And again, it's not imposing upon anything you're trying to do. So, yeah, that was off base. And doubling down on that, I thought that was a little bit tasteless. But again, this is old. I'm sure her perspective has reshaped since then, or at least I would hope so, to give her the benefit of the doubt. Then she says, notice how she victimized herself in her explanation, but she was still loud and wrong. As I explained above, laying out what the prices are for those things doesn't change the fact that they are a lot more accessible to some people than worldwide travel. But let's press on. In that same Twitter thread, Seales asserted, if you're buying Jordans and Nike suits, but you don't have a credit card, you're losing. If you're buying Jordans and Nike suits, but you don't know your credit score, you're losing. Some people don't like credit. Some people would rather not, and we all have our reasons for that. I know I've been apprehensive in the past on credit, you know what I'm saying, having a car, but being apprehensive to use it just because I don't like owing nobody shit. I don't like having that hanging over my head. And the fact that you have to acquire debt in order to, advance yourself with a credit score and different things, it seems like you pigeonholing me. You're putting me in a position where if I miss a payment or if I fuck up or if something in my life happens to where I can't cover this, it's going to affect me worse than if I never had it. You know what I mean? So I think people have their reasons, but I understand what she was going for. You want people to be financially responsible. You want people to acquire, assets and things that work on your behalf to help you get further in life. All of those things are effective, but to say somebody is losing or calling them losers, I don't think you're getting your point across to anybody that would otherwise listen to you if you said it differently. We're going to not harp on that though. The writer continues. She says, I've already written a column about how the credit scoring system is a rigged game. That is an undeniable fact. The entire credit score system is shrouded in enough mystery to make it completely confusing for the average person. It was not created for black people to benefit from it at all. In fact, I would personally argue that it was created to shut black people out. But that's a discussion and a debate for another day. For this conversation, let's acknowledge that knowing your credit score and buying Jordans and Nike suits are not equivalent in the grand scheme of things. There are people who never use credit for various reasons, and I would argue they are actually smart to live that way. The point here is that this is another instance of Amanda Seales being loud and wrong. Until you trying to get a motherfucking house, if you're trying to buy that bitch, or, if you're trying to get approved for some shit, that's where shit get a little toughy. You're going to have to put more money down than if you would have acquired some credit. So I understand both sides of the fence. But again, calling people losers because they don't have something, I think is very socially irresponsible. She says, I won't even get into the rumors that her castmates from Insecure don't like her because I cannot state that as fact. But I will say it doesn't escape notice that while the vast majority of them still hang out together from time to time, we never see Amanda Seales with them. I'm sure there's a reason for that. Shade. Justifiable shade. But you definitely put a palm tree over her ass. We'll keep going. Imagine you worked with a group of people for the better part of 6 years, and when the job ended, they all pay you dust. That is Amanda Seales. Critiquing Amanda Seales for her bad takes and her tendency to be loud and wrong isn't hating on her, and it's not tearing another black woman down either. As black people, we should be able to offer valid critiques of each other without it being viewed as hating. If we don't hold our own accountable, we look like hypocrites trying to hold anyone else accountable. This is true, and Amanda Seales does the same, when she points out deficiencies and points out things that may not be the best. And when she calls out motherfuckers for being brokies that don't got a credit card or a passport, you know? So I think when you try to come out and critique, you also open yourself up to be critiqued as well. Some people ain't gonna like the shit you said, and although you may feel justified or right in your position, it doesn't mean that you actually are. We all have to experience that, and that's something that I also get and I catch from y'all in the comments sometimes with this show. So no one is above it. I always say no one is bigger than the program. The program will exist whether we're here or not. You can only hope to get what you can out of it and make something the best. You know what I'm saying? Make the best of it while you're here. But the program is the program. Amanda Seales is very good at holding white people and institutions that uphold whiteness and white supremacy accountable. She calls them out and draws attention to things they are doing that are harmful to the black community. I love that about her. I think Amanda could take that same magnifying glass and examine some of her own statements and actions to come to an understanding as to why there are some people who dislike her. 2 black publications recently published articles on her. Both were simply calling for her to do the work of self-analysis and a self-inventory to see if any of the things she is openly complaining about, not being invited into black spaces and not being supported by black media, could be a reflection of her own personal actions. Those articles have been painted as hit pieces against her. I wholeheartedly disagree with that labeling. We cannot be so fragile as to not want to be called out on our own BS. Amanda Seales is very vocal with her opinions. She makes sure everyone hears them. It comes with the territory of having a large platform. I agree with that. What also comes along with having a large platform is the recognition that not everyone is going to agree with you, and instead of trying to play victim when this happens, taking the opportunity to either clarify or course correct would be the better option. But ego is a hell of a drug, and ego is where Amanda Seales is stuck. Amanda Seales is not a victim of anything but her own hubris, and until she recognizes that, she is always going to be crying every time anyone says anything about her. Sheesh. I can't say that I disagree with this article. I can understand where Amanda Seales is coming from, but I also fully understand where this writer is coming from. I don't feel like this is a hit piece. I feel like there's plenty of celebrities out here that, good or bad, they get written about every day. They get talked about. The topics of discussion. You're going to have groups of people that like you, groups of people that don't. And you got to take the bad with the good. It's part of the game. It comes with the territory. And if you can't handle it, sometimes you got to go ahead and get up out the kitchen or set your oven to a lower setting. I know some people are going to disagree. Some people are going to agree with Amanda Seales, and that's perfectly fine. But I don't think anyone's going to change my opinion about this, so please don't think that you will. But in the grand scheme of things, I would say that it's not over. The writing is not fully on the wall for her. I think she has the opportunity perhaps to rectify what people may not like about her. She may be able to come out and win some people over time. You know, age typically comes with wisdom, experience, all those different things. So where she's at today in public opinion may not be where she's at in a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. People are fickle. People are open to changing opinions. You just got to do the work. You got to do you, you know? And again, if you feel that you are fully right in what it is that you do, why would you expect people, you know what I'm saying? You should know, hey, if I'm stubborn, I'm not going to be moved. Some people ain't going to fuck with me, and it is what it is, whether it's people in my community, whether it's the elders, whether it's these organizations that I want to be accepted by. If you're going to be like, fuck everybody, you're going to have to stand on that. You're going to have to stand on business. It just is what it is. And sometimes standing on business means you got to isolate yourself from people that you would have loved to be around. But if you're immovable, then what is the other alternative for you? You know? And I thought it was interesting that she said she's going to cry every time people mention her because unfortunately this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Amanda did come out crying and, you know, having an emotional breakdown. Not in this particular video. She was very, you know, she was emotional, but she wasn't crying. But she went live afterwards and had some other things to say. I didn't watch the full live. I won't get into that because I did not watch it in completion. But you could check that out on her Instagram. We're not going to harp on Amanda Seales any longer. We've already talked about her situation for over 20 something minutes. We're going to move on to Angel Reese, someone else who's being, you know, criticized in the public. She's been going through it, right? With Angel Reese, people have been on her back since last year, you know, winning the national championship with LSU. And of course, there was the situation going up against Caitlin Clark and the whole "you can't see me" thing that she was doing. And when they bust her ass, they did the "you can't see me" shit back to the girl. And of course, there was that racial tension because Caitlin Clark is white. And people tried to make it seem like Angel Reese was a thug or bullying her because she was taunting her in the game and asserting her dominance on the floor. And she's got a lot of people that fuck with her because of that. She's got a lot of people that don't because of that. Coming into this season, she came back to school instead of going to the WNBA. It was made very much known that she got all of these NIL deals. She's making multiple millions of dollars now as a college student playing in the NCAA. And I think there was a lot of people that fucked with her on that. There was a lot of people that didn't fuck with her because they were jealous. They didn't like the fact that she was getting all of this support, all of this money, all of these endorsements and things of that nature. Recently, she was also the victim of some sort of AI prawn. I'm going to say prawn instead of the actual word. That was put online, and she definitely was seen being emotional and didn't understand why somebody would be so hateful as to create something like that about her. And some people were convinced that it was real and spreading it around. After losing the other night to Iowa and Caitlin Clark, she was very emotional after the game, talking about all that she's been through and stuff like that, and just all of the ups and downs that she's experienced in the past year. I don't even think all of what she was talking about was basketball related. I'm sure of it. Unfortunately, someone who was very critical of her is a television analyst. What's homeboy name? This fucking clown. Never liked nothing he had to say on TV any goddamn way. Emmanuel Acko.
I'm about to give a...
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play what Angel Reese said at the game first. And then we'll get to him.
Attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want them to always just know like I'm still a human. Like all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say like I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are. Keep waking up every day. Keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes. Just try to stay.
All right, so there's that from Angel Reese. I already talked about some of the context of what she was speaking on. So let's get to clown ass Emmanuel. All right, and what he had to say.
I'm about to give a gender neutral, racially indifferent take. Now, if you want to say, well, Acho, cater your take based upon gender, Acho, cater your take based upon race, I will understand that. But I'm about to give a gender neutral, racially indifferent take. Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Because if you want to act grown, which she has, if you want to get paid like you grown, which you are, if you want to talk to grown folks like you grown, which you did post-game when you told a coach for an opposing team, watch your mouth. If you want to tell people get your money up, then post-game when you take an L, you just got to take it on the chin. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the villain. Shout out to you, because you are the second best basketball player on the court, and it was not close. Outside of Caitlin Clark, it was you. 17 and 20, dog. Showed up, biggest game, second biggest game of your career. Absolute dog, but you can't under any circumstance. I'm about to give a gender-neutral racial podium and now try to ask for individuals to give you sympathy. No one has sympathy for the villain. You painted the bullseye on your back. Why are you surprised when people shoot at you? So if you want to act grown, if you want to pose grown, if you want to talk grown, if you want to talk to grown folks grown, then you got to take the L like you grown. Because what frustrated me is when you want to be the villain, but you want to hope for sympathy like a hero. Go to the podium.
I don't know about that. I could see if it was strictly about basketball. If it's all about the taunting, the shit talk on the court, talking to the coaches and all of this different type of stuff, and you lose, and she was out there just crying, saying, man, I missed a lot of calls, man. The ref did this, and man, I just don't like the way that y'all treated me on the court. I can understand. It's like, dog, hey, whatever happened on in them lines, leave that shit out there. Don't be out here crying. Some people do be crying, you know what I mean? Some people don't like to give answers after the game, after a loss. Like, we see this shit all over sports. Some motherfuckers get up there and just hang their head and be mum's the word. I don't see you out here going that hard on them, especially these guys, right? When motherfucking my guy Marshawn Lynch was, y'all know why I'm here. That nigga got a whole Skittles campaign off that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like don't have the double standard between men and women. Y'all gotta get over that shit, bro. Niggas be emotional. Niggas be not giving answers. Niggas be damn near crying. Coaches be damn near crying. Motherfuckers be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go too far into it, but we've seen it. When Allen Iverson was talking about practice, which is something that you're supposed to do anyway for the sport that he was in, and I love AI, that's my nigga. Shout out to Chuck. But when he was emotional about being attacked for not showing up to practice and not playing practice, niggas came to his defense. There were some people in corporate white America that wasn't fucking with that, but that's become an iconic video. So much so that they're now emulating it in new commercials with Steph Curry and some other folks. Have we not seen that? So get your shit together, brother. We got people on Twitter. Says, according to Emmanuel Acho, Angel Reese, who was crying about receiving death threats, having AI prawn made of her, and being the target of some of the ugliest racism I've ever seen, deserved everything she got because she talked shit at the free throw line. This man is disgusting. Someone else says, Emmanuel Acho is being dragged across the internet while Angel Reese just dropped an absolutely iconic Vogue magazine draft announcement. Today is a great day. Someone else says, has Emmanuel Acho ever had a good take? Another failed take, gender neutral, racially indifferent. When do black women ever get to be human? And then the use of cowardly dog, be for real. Someone else says, woof, Emmanuel Acho, man, compared a black woman to a dog? You need to choose your analogies better. He's still standing 10 toes down on his statement, even after receiving backlash. Of course, you know he works for Fox now, so he feels like he's empowered to say what he wants. A lot of these guys are failed analysts from ESPN that have now gotten contracts with Fox, a little bit more, I won't say liberal. I guess you could say liberal because ESPN is very, very strict. Even though Fox is owned by conservatives, they kind of let you get your shit off. And, you know, the so-called conservatives normally have the weirdest opinions any goddamn way. So he's being backed by his money train, you know? But I don't like that shit. And the thing about it is when people like Angel Reese, who are being unfairly critiqued, unfairly pit against others in her field, there's other people that feel empowered to kind of take the same stance. And it's like, bro, nah. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be a victim today. And I think we got to be very careful about how we position those things because it removes the efficacy of people that are actually going through shit, in my personal opinion. You know? We're going to go ahead and get into the next story. Not pictured in the thumbnail, we have the situation with Kanye West here. He's being accused of anti-black racism in a lawsuit from an ex-employee. I think this is very interesting, man, because he comes out here and tries to make it seem like he's advocating for people, tries to make it seem like he's fighting for us, being this great example. He's a black man trying to do right and nobody wants to give him opportunities. He's gave you the opportunity to become a fucking multi-billionaire. But, you know, he's just very contradictory, man. You know, he's the epitome of the broken clock that's right twice a day, but then everything else just be fucked up. So, a former employee accused Kanye West of anti-black racism in a lawsuit filed on Tuesday, just a couple days ago. They also claimed he had witnessed Kanye's homophobic and anti-Semitic outbursts. The employee, Trevor Phillips, who is black, alleged that West had berated him and humiliated him in front of others, and that several employees noted that he treated black employees worse than the white ones. Damn, why am I not surprised? They say during his tenure, Phillips never witnessed West yell and berate a white person, but on countless occasions he saw and or personally experienced Kanye frenziedly yell at black people. Phillips was hired in November of 2022 to work for Yeezy, West's fashion brand, and also worked at Donda Academy, his now closed private school. According to the complaint, his job included overseeing a project growing cotton and other crops as a part of a plan to develop a self-sustaining community. Okay. I'm looking like, what the fuck you mean growing cotton? Okay, but I'm stumbling over my words thinking of that shit, man. But of course he is trying to create, clothing and stuff like that and have that stuff on hand rather than get the supplies from other people. So I'm guessing that's the purpose behind it, right? So maybe that could make a little bit of sense, but let's keep going. At the time, West's career was in a free fall following a series of anti-Semitic remarks on Twitter and in interviews. Adidas had just dropped a lucrative deal with him the previous month. According to the suit, Kanye also engaged in anti-Semitic tirades during staff meetings at the Donda Academy, including once in the presence of two students, children. You done fucked up bad, sir. Phillips was present when Kanye said things like, "The Jews are out to get me and the Jews are stealing all my money," which, I mean, according to him, they really did. They put a freeze on this nigga accounts and everything and then proceeded to move forward with his Yeezy shit without him being part of the deal. He also told the two children present at the meeting that he wanted to shave their heads and he planned to build a jail at the school and the children would be locked in cages. Okay, so he was supposed to be in charge of disciplining them. It sounded like they were acting out, talking about he wanted to shave their heads. Hey, my nigga, when did your mama do that to you? Okay, when did your mama shave your fucking head, lock you in a cage to rehabilitate you and put you in jail? This some bitch ass shit if this is true. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. I don't give a fuck about your music. I don't give a fuck how many albums you sold. I don't give a fuck about how many niggas come to your defense. That shit, dead ass wrong, if true. Just is what it is. Your motherfucking head need to be shaved, nigga. Put your ass in a goddamn cage, nigga. The fuck? Shortly after Phillips was hired, West invited him to a meeting at the Nobu Hotel in Malibu, where West allegedly praised Hitler and said he hated Jewish people, according to the suit. He also stated that the Jews are working with Adidas to freeze his money, which might not have been a lie. According to the complaint, West demanded that the hotel staff put on the Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz, and that he and Phillips watch the movie with the volume turned on mute. The suit states that West lay flat. Hold on, what? Don't tell me on some Diddy shit. The suit states that West lay flat on his back on the bed and mimicked masturbating while the movie was playing and talked about having orgies. I'm going to say that one more time. The suit states that West laid flat on his back on the bed and mimicked masturbating while the movie was playing and talked about having orgies. The suit also quotes West as attacking gay people during the meeting, saying that they are controlled by Bill Gates so they don't have children for population control. As outlandish and crazy as this fucking sounds, we did see him say this same sort of rhetoric on camera that time when he showed up and lambasted that black woman. Y'all might not know what I'm talking about, but I think where he busted out crying and shit, that was some weird ass shit. Trevor Phillips, this is a man, ain't it? How you gonna, I don't know, what the fuck is going on? How do you have a man come up to your hotel room, you mimic masturbating while the movie playing, talking about having orgies on some Diddy shit, but then in the same presence of this person, talk bad about gays when you did this in front of another man? This is all allegedly, though. I don't know what this nigga did or didn't do, but it's sounding crazy as hell. The suit recounts other alleged discriminatory behavior over the ensuing weeks, including a claim that West ordered a black security guard to shave his dreadlocks or be fired. I dare you to say that to Ty Dolla $ign. Phillips alleges in May of 2023, West publicly humiliated him during a Sunday service at Donda Academy, which is described as a pseudo-religious sermon where Kanye and a choir plays gospel music. According to the suit, West singled out Phillips and shouted at him with more than 100 people looking that he was effing fired and that he should get the fuck out of here. West appeared to be dissatisfied with the school's garden, and Phillips sought to explain that he was not responsible for it. So when you were fired, he didn't really mean that you was fired. I could see that happening where he's like, nigga, you fired. You show up to work the next day and he act like nothing ever happened. He seems like that type of person. Phillips spoke with West, telling him as tears streamed down his face that he was grateful for the opportunity to work for him. West responded by cursing at him and throwing a temper tantrum, during which he uprooted some of the plants. So he was fucking this nigga psycho, allegedly. So you see the garden with the plants in it. You're like, man, this fucking garden is ass. I'm like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I'm grateful for the opportunity, man, but let us make it right. And he just start pulling plants out the goddamn ground. Jeez. Furthermore, West also threatened to punch Phillips in the face, the lawsuit states. He then had an apparent change of heart, punching one fist in the air in imitation of Mario's celebratory dance in the Mario Bros video game. West said that he would give Phillips one more chance. So he acted like he was finna punch him, but instead, because he ain't even that type nigga. We ain't never heard about Kanye putting hands on nobody, but all of a sudden you want to threaten your employees. I ain't with none of this shit, man. Nigga might need a motherfucking ass whooping for real, for real. A good one. A substantial one. You feel me? Nigga need it. But let's keep going. He then directed him to drive to a farm in Fillmore, California, talk to the owner and report back to West with a recommendation about whether or not to buy it. So how the fuck? You fire this dude. You say that the garden is unsatisfactory. You act like you finna swing on him. And then you send him to a farm to go assess the viability of purchasing it. Why would you trust him to do that if he can't even handle the farm? I mean, the fucking garden. Some weird stuff, man. Phillips went home and broke down crying. His dream of working for someone he once admired was like his spirit being crushed. While Kanye considered himself a god or a king, in reality, he was an ill-tempered tyrant and despot who sought to mentally obliterate and control those around him. I honestly can believe all this shit. They say Kanye is very generous and very giving. I think that can be true as well. But he also asserts himself over people that he doesn't truly respect. I could see all of these things being true. Phillips went to the farm later that day, toured it, and gave West his impressions. West said he would buy it and put Phillips in charge. How could you put a nigga in charge that you don't even trust with a garden, but you're going to put him over a full farm? However, the following day, Kanye texted him and said, "You still fired. You not on the level." Ooh, wait, why does that sound so real? Donda Academy has since shut down, though there has been talk of reopening. The lawsuit seeks an injunction barring West from owning and operating a school. I think that's the fucking least that they could do. The suit also states claims of racial discrimination, retaliation, and wrongful termination. The entire lawsuit is available on Variety. Unlike the Diddy lawsuit, I'm not going to go through this. This is, what is this, about 40 pages? It's a lot. Too much for me. 47 pages. We got other things to get to. This is just a footnote, but damn on some Florida Evans. You know what I mean? This is wild. Let's keep moving. As y'all do see in the thumbnail here is Keith Lee. We're going to speak about him for just a moment. Let me pull up Keith Lee's article here. All right. So y'all remember last year when Keith Lee came to Atlanta? I say came to Atlanta because I live here. He came out here and he went to a couple of staples in the city, said that he wasn't feeling them, said that he didn't see all the hype. Some places he couldn't even get into and get his food ordered in an adequate amount of time, which he definitely was critical of. Some places tried to make it when they didn't know who he was or when his family went in to be served. They wasn't trying to serve him, but once he showed his face, they were in a rush to serve him. He said, "Nah, I'm Gucci. I'm going to take my money elsewhere." Well, he's making his return or made his return to the A. Okay? So the article states, influencer Keith Lee's family ATL community event has been forced to relocate after drawing a too large crowd. So he was throwing a community event here in Atlanta, and unfortunately, they couldn't even have it. They say Keith Lee is back in Atlanta, but this time he's not reviewing any restaurants. Instead, he's giving out 500 meals from Larry and Chris Corner Kitchen, Pizza Hut pizzas, and limited edition Nikes at a community event. After generating a little too much buzz, the family ATL community event was forced to relocate. He comes back on his Instagram. He says the location has been moved. More than 500 people have shown up before we got there, and the city has shut down the first location. Pizza Hut pizzas, very limited pairs of Nikes, and 500 plates will be available at the location below. The event comes mere days after Lee shared that he would return to Atlanta for a redemption tour and then postpone the trip. In a recent video, Lee announced that his next stop would be his first international destination, Toronto, Canada, while he and his family are in Atlanta during the current stop, though he won't be conducting a thorough review of the city's dining scene for business reasons. And of course, we give y'all that. We already know how that happened the first time. As far as this giveaway goes, the giveaway will last until supplies run out. Given that his trip hasn't yet ended, as well as his track record for consistent acts of kindness, it's worth speculating whether he will host another giveaway or event. At the time of publication, Eater Atlanta has not been informed of any plans for additional giveaways or when Lee will return. I'm telling y'all, man, I keep saying this, bro. Get you some formal representation. I know you don't want to jump into the TV game just yet. You want to keep doing your thing. But I think it's time to maybe get an agency involved. I think you may need to get with some booking people that understand, you know, how to secure venues for you, how to secure the right places. If you want to partner with these local businesses, that's cool. But you're going to have to be in a place that can adequately fit these people. You are effectively a celebrity now. You don't want to be treated like anyone else. You know what I'm saying? Or excuse me, you want to be treated like everyone else. You want to be treated like a common person. Those days are over, my brother. It's time. It's beyond time. Because at this point, just you showing up and trying to be nice is disrupting local areas, right? You're going to be stopping traffic. You're filling up buildings beyond capacity, which is a safety hazard. You got a lot of people showing up, not enough food, which ultimately is going to bear negatively against you. You know what I'm saying? When it comes time for people that didn't get the food to speak on what happened, the legend of Keith Lee is going to be besmirched just because you're trying to do this and run this ship alone or with family. And I think that's honorable. I think that's great. But you're going to need to add a couple other cooks to the kitchen. It doesn't mean they have to own anything of yours. Doesn't mean that you have to cut them in on, anything that's not justified, as you are in a position of power as the Keith Lee. But you're going to need you're going to need some management. You're going to need an agency. And you're going to need some help securing booking venues to make sure that you can effectively do these types of events, have the amount of people that you would like to have at the event, make sure that you're not halting other people in traffic from their destinations, not obstructing their plans at the same time, because that's also going to be an issue. Like, there's a lot of different logistic things that are going to be needed to take into account, because you are Keith Lee. You out here with Cardi B. You out here moving and shaking, brother. You the money man now. They treating you like big homie. So I'm not gonna go in on you or anything, but I'm just gonna keep reiterating, dog. You gonna have to broaden the vision, my guy. Okay? Someone else that's seeing some success off of social media is Mr. Derrick Lambert. Just by saying his name, I'm sure some of y'all don't know who the hell this is. But that's why I'm going to go ahead and play his video. You know what I'm saying? Mr. I Ain't Fresh. Y'all know this. My guy with the motherfucking Whataburger with his polo on. Y'all seen this. He went viral a few weeks ago. Know what I'm saying? Rocking his Ralph Lauren, New Balance. This outfit has become a social media staple. Some people actually did parody videos rocking the same outfit. I've seen an artist by the name of Dear Silas do a music video rocking this same outfit. So he's become somewhat of a cultural phenomenon himself, because these young folks out at the Whataburger saw him pull up getting some food for two, look like, and for whatever reason, they recorded him on their shit and made fun of his clothing and put him on TikTok. I was under the suspicion that this shit was fake, because I see everything on social media as a sham these days. Niggas be trying to pull the wool over the good one's eyes, and I don't be standing for that shit. But it seems like he was genuinely confused by these young folks. They've come out since then and tried to share their accounts of the situation. Nobody gives two fucks about y'all. But Mr. Derrick Lambert seems to be living his best life ever since this happened. Right? So, number one, he's found himself earning a shopping spree with LRG, because that's one of his favorite brands. Even outside of the video of him wearing Ralph Lauren, other photos of him have become popular online, have spread out. And, I ain't gonna lie, for OG status, you know what I'm saying, looking like he in his late 30s, maybe early 40s type shit, like, he keeps himself up well, if I must say. Some niggas give up. Some niggas just get the fuck up out the game and don't give a damn what they look like. Stop getting their hair cut, hair falling out. You know what I'm saying? Don't keep their sneakers clean. Niggas just say fuck life after a certain age. You know what I mean? So shit, he looked like an average dude. Looked like he could be related to your boy. To be honest, look like he like to smoke a little bit too much weed. Maybe, you know what I mean. Maybe he like to get a little bit too lit on Saturday and Sunday. But I ain't here to judge that right now. But again, as the story goes, Derrick Lambert tried minding his own business. He went to an Arlington, Texas Whataburger. I'm not surprised at all. He from Texas neither. Whataburger in a classic outfit, a Ralph Lauren polo shirt, starched jeans. Them jeans was starched like a motherfucker too, and a pair of New Balance 574s, which is definitely a classic. When Lambert got his order to go, a group of random women recorded him on their social media and mocked him for his wardrobe. While the women didn't think his fit was fresh, the internet sure did. In the short viral clip, Lambert is seen replying to the women, "I ain't fresh," and a meme was born. Lambert's response and outfit became a viral sensation, earning him a shopping spree with the clothing brand LRG, which is on brand for LRG and on brand for Mr. Lambert, because, you know, I would assume he's only a few years older than me. LRG was a very popular brand. And for some people, they made their resurgence back into the game a few years ago. They shit been fresh. I ain't bought none of that shit just because I ain't really into name brands as much as I used to be. I've been supporting more smaller companies these days, and even though I'm wearing Nike right now, this was actually a gift. So yeah, even with these dad gang hats, these ain't my brand. You know what I'm saying? This is a small business that just has a lot of marketing that, and with me becoming a father, I've just been supporting the fuck out of them and get some more of that shit too. But moving forward, yeah. So LRG stepped in and they actually did a lot more than what we're talking about. We're going to get to that in a moment. So background on Derrick Lambert. According to Complex, Lambert is originally from Monticello, Arkansas, but has lived in Texas for the past 3 years. Lambert does not use social media, but a family member informed him that he became a trend. Well, he does have Facebook because that's where his other fits went viral. And a nigga be putting some of that shit on, especially, like I said, for the generation. Yeah, y'all can look him up yourself, though. He says, "Oh man, it went crazy. I don't have Twitter. I saw it on TikTok. My cousin sent me a message, so I called her and she was like, 'Yeah, you went viral.' I said, 'Oh my gosh.' Read the comments expecting them to be bashing me and they were defending me like every comment. So I was heated that the video got posted, but I liked the reaction of people saying they were messed up and don't know what they talking about. That was crazy." LRG on March 26th posted an ad on Instagram with Lambert in a crouched pose. The clothing brand took him on a shopping spree at Dillard's in Dallas on March 28th. LRG and Lambert flew to New Orleans for a photo shoot on Bourbon Street that same night. Lambert was sitting courtside at the Pelicans games. If y'all are basketball fans, y'all seen that shit. I was like, hey, my nigga getting to the bag, getting to the biggity. You feel me? I like that shit. Also, he set a trend on TikTok with people pulling up with the "I ain't fresh" slogan. Several users started using the tagline, either putting together their own fresh fits or creating their own skits using his voice, as I stated, and other people pulling up in an identical outfit. Okay? So, furthermore from that, because like I said, LRG did more than what you thought. You feel me? As a matter of fact, damn, where my Complex article at? As of today, Complex and LRG have come out and announced that there is a official partnership between the company and Derrick Lambert. Okay, so they released a new collab tee with LRG, "I Ain't Fresh," and they're going to profit share with him, splitting the profits 50-50. Okay, which I'm gonna be honest, that's a tough deal to get. A lot of motherfuckers in fashion ain't getting 50-50 splits off the collaborations they doing. Now, this is only for that collection of teas, you know what I'm saying? But this could spark some other stuff. If it goes successfully, I think they should do a whole "I Ain't Fresh" line with this nigga, because Take advantage of the moment, take advantage of the social media, take advantage of the fact that y'all already got the designers in place to do it. Keep it going because I ain't fresh. I mean, fashion, we've always used that word anyway, fresh. So having that tagline, I ain't fresh, and then proving that you fresh with the outfit you got on for people that actually enjoy logos and typography type gear, that shit gonna go crazy. Keeping in line with everything, I might as well go ahead and just show y'all the stuff, you know what I'm saying? So here we got the white, I ain't fresh, you know what I'm saying, tee with the light blue, keeping the color coordination with his original outfit, you know what I'm saying? And it's also got his name signatured on there to let y'all know that this is the actual collab with Mr. Derrick Lambert. He also has a blue version, a darker blue version, more navy, right? I'm not mad at this. And, you know, they could have, it looks like something they would have already done. It doesn't look like they're stretching it, doesn't look like they're trying necessarily. It just looks like something they would have done. If you're familiar with the LRG brand, they put out stuff like this anyway. So again, I feel like this was a great move, smart move. They jumped on it fast. They made sure they took care of him, took him to the game, took him to the shopping spree. Probably paid, you know what I mean? It didn't cost much. To be honest, probably put a stack down, plus splitting 50-50 on the profits for whoever buys this. And I think a lot of people are buying this shit just out of support. So he finna come up, and I hope that they continue to work with him, let him model, do some more shit. Like, change this nigga life, man. I'm with that. I'm with that all the way. You know what I mean? Furthermore, um, LRG released a statement, and they say when we saw Derrick going viral wearing LRG, we immediately knew this was a perfect opportunity to do an authentic and organic collaboration. Like I said, some of his other clothing that he was wearing outside of that polo, he was already rocking their stuff anyway. LRG stands for Lifted Research Group. The group has always embodied and included everyone involved with our brand, from music artists, designers, skaters, and especially the customers buying and wearing our products, which is a fact. They not capping. I remember back when I was in high school, what really drew me to LRG was that they were actually doing campaigns with this clown ass nigga Kanye back when I liked him. They had the producer Ninth Wonder, Just Blaze, like they were the official like music brand or brand for niggas that was involved in music on a deeper level. If you was into production, if you was into like getting the Source magazines and shit like that, you would always see they stuff in there. And I just liked it. It wasn't flashy, but it was still like bold at the same time. I liked the tree. It was like an organic type of thing. So, you know, y'all might be drawing me back in. Y'all might get some of my motherfucking coins, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, cause I dress like Unc any goddamn way. You feel me? I am Unc for some of these motherfuckers. But yeah, man, that's a feel good story. I like that. I like that a lot. Especially with the 50-50. We like to hear about 50-50 splits out here. Especially me coming from a music game. Most niggas ain't getting that. Who else we got on the docket for this evening? We've got Tamera Mowry. She's coming out talking about recovering from divorce. So we're gonna go a little take a little nosedive here. But let's see what she had to say nonetheless. All right. So Tamera Mowry is sharing a powerful message as she reflects on her divorce from fellow actor Corey Hardy. While the split was officially finalized in April of last year, Mowry called the experience of processing everything after signing the paperwork a whirlwind journey. She's been out here showing her journey, getting back in the dating scene, trying to get right, trying to get dressed, swiping on different apps and stuff like that. And unfortunately, it looks like it hasn't gone all that great for her. So I can understand how this is a whirlwind, especially, you know, creating a new life and having children involved, all this type of stuff. Yeah, it could be a lot. Mowry and Hardy were together for 14 years and shared 2 children, a 12-year-old son named Cree and a 5-year-old daughter, Cairo. She opened up about how she felt like she had to recover after the divorce and how she's turning her focus to being a mother in wake of separation. She says, recovering from a divorce feels like a whirlwind journey. Okay, so it's the same shit, man. What the fuck? She said, I found out through the process that divorce isn't a place where we arrive. It's entering a new chapter in life with many nuances and no one-size-fits-all handbook. Okay? She says, one moment you're relieved, feeling like you've conquered something significant, then suddenly emotions hit you all over again. It's a side of divorce that isn't often discussed, especially when there are kids involved. I can definitely understand that. Never been through it myself, but I've witnessed it. So yeah, she says that she's been exercising, journaling, and meditating, as well as going to therapy. She also noted that moms may feel added pressure to be role models and explained that self-care is important too. She says you strive to be a role model, teaching them resilience and self-care. You try different things to soothe and release emotional buildup, exercise, journaling your thoughts, meditation, seeking therapy to cope with the breakup and the dreams you had for your future. For anyone who's going through this, I would love to hear your experience, share your story, because there's power in dialogue. As women, we take our power back by sharing our stories and bringing any deep shame we hold from this experience into the light. Okay? So I think that's healthy. I think that's good. I think more people should be transparent about how it feels, what it really is like going through divorce. A lot of people go through it, but not everybody understands what they're getting themselves into. Sometimes they can be very rocky, very tumultuous. Sometimes the other party isn't very cooperative throughout the process, which can prolong it, make it a lot harder. Start dividing assets, all of that. Children, custody, visitation, all of these different things that you never imagined because you took that oath that y'all were going to be together forever. And unfortunately, it doesn't always pan out that way. So my heart goes out to her. Fuck that nigga. You know, she took care of your ass from living on a bus stop, nigga. You could never. You could never. You know, but moving along, we're going to talk about somebody who hasn't been handling divorce all that gracefully. Is Ray J. You know, it was recently said that his princess decided to divorce him. He's been taking it on the chin. He said he didn't understand. He never looked into divorce. Of course, he grew up with married parents. He said he's willing to suffer, have his happiness sacrificed in order to keep the family together. However, she is not on that same page and wants her freedom, wants to go live her life. So now that is the temperature, Ray J has taken to social media to show just how much he doesn't care. And Lord, might I tell you, this nigga cares.
That I'm free and I can do what I want, stop complaining. All you gonna see is and pussy. So fuck what you talking about. We up. We so up, we don't give a f. I give a f. I think I give two. I'm definitely not wrong. Y'all think I'm wrong? Fuck off. You would never stop this train. We too up to be glistening away. Stupid gotta say. I'm free. I'm single. This what single look like. Get used to it, cause it's just the start of it. You got a problem, get the f on my page. All you gonna see is and titties on my page, so suck my dick if you got a problem. That I'm free.
All right. So, of course, I didn't play that on the screen. He was in the midst of a little gathering. It wasn't even a party. It didn't look fun at all. But he was in the middle of a gathering. There were some women, you know, more women than men in the vicinity. But there were men there also. And he said, from here on out, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see me partying, living it up, being free, single. You're going to see women. You're going to see bees and pussy, as he said. And he said, anybody that got something to say, that's my D. My brother, are you not 40 years old? Like, you don't know how to deal with breakup? You don't know how to deal with pain in a constructive way? Your first instinct is to get back into the parties, which is cool if that's what you want to do. But to get on social media, that shit was weird. How you gonna be in the middle of a party with all that fucking malice and malcontent in your voice? You know what I'm saying? You up in this motherfucker. You sounding angry. That's what you finna see. You finna see. You finna see bitches and pussy. You finna see. Nigga, who finna lay with you with that energy? You know what I'm saying? Who is finna accept that energy into their body tonight? And why? You out here trying to sex the pain away and can't even get that part right. Come on, man. Take it to the studio. Sing about your heartbreak. You know, Ray J is supposed to be launching his new channel, which is basically Zeus turned up to 100. What is it called? Tronics Network or something like that. Yeah, I think it's Tronics Network or something along those lines. Looks like he's trying to hire Sukiyana and Krishan to join his network. He's got footage of some TV show where somebody actually gets blasted, shot on camera. He's just out here doing the most. You know, if anyone cares about Ray J, I hope you're praying for him. I hope that y'all are trying to get some sort of resolution, some sort of intervention for him. He might be beyond help at this point. I don't know. He makes really good business moves, but just as a person, man, I wish him the best. I hope he's not drowning himself in liquor, alcohol, and weed. I hope he's not thinking that these women are going to do anything for him. He's going to fuck around and end up with another baby and get taken advantage of yet again. You know, take some time to reflect, man. I know it's easy. The easy option is to go out and find some scalawags and skeezers and stick it where it don't belong. But I would hope at some point you evolve past that, take some inventory on yourself, learn why you got here, because clearly she ain't want to be with your ass no more. Clearly being with her was impeding on her personal happiness. So you should be trying to figure out what the fuck you did to cause that situation. Reflect, go to therapy, learn a thing or two, come back healed, brother. Wish you all the best. It's not an overnight process, but you got to do it. Or else you're going to find yourself going to these whack ass parties with these people that don't give two shits about you, still trying to figure it out. In other news, we spoke about Lizzo. Well, it seems that somebody out here doesn't give about the fact that Lizzo is downtrodden. As a matter of fact, one of her alleged victims from the tour, Miss Crystal, says it's a joke that Lizzo would say she is being bullied by the internet when she should instead be taking an honest look at herself. Her latest post is just another outburst seeking attention and trying to deflect from her own failings as she continues to blame everyone else for the predicament she's in. Lizzo's legal and public relations strategy is a failure, so she is desperately trying to play the victim. She has thrown these childish tantrums before. No one actually believes she is quitting music, but she should quit sexually harassing, shaming, and bullying her employees and finally accept responsibility for her actions. She can make all of this go away simply by seizing the opportunity here to set an example, own up to her mistakes, pay what's due to those she's wronged, and work on becoming a better person. Celebrity toxicity is poisoning the entertainment industry, with Diddy and Dan Schneider being the latest examples, and Lizzo's conduct will not be tolerated either. There is no more safe space in society for this sort of behavior, as the entire industry is in for a reckoning for permitting such vile treatment of employees in the workplace. So she is not letting up, okay, at all. She gonna keep her motherfucking foot on her neck until kingdom come. Oh, shit. Well, Lizzo's lawyer says with nearly half his case dismissed, 18 independent witnesses siding with Lizzo, and no settlement on the way to get him his tasty contingency fee, Ron has started making wild personal attacks that have absolutely nothing to do with the clients who he's supposedly representing. That's a word from Stefan Friedman, a spokesperson for Lizzo. They continue, we would humbly recommend that Ron start representing his clients and stop representing just himself. So they're basically accusing him of the same things Ron, who's defending or representing these former dancers. They're saying he's in it for his own reasons, similar to what people are talking about Tyrone Blackburn, who's representing Lil Rod and some of Diddy's other accusers. The game is going crazy, man. This Hollywood, this music shit, these motherfuckers going down for all this SA shit, all this abuse, all this battery, all this, you know what I mean, sexual misconduct. 2024. We thought 2023 was the year of revelation. 2024 started out with a motherfucking uppercut right hook. You should have took the trash out last night, Craig. Cause y'all niggas is catching it. That's all I got for y'all this evening, man. We went through a lot of things. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. Oh, one more thing. I do want to go ahead and play this Mano clip. We don't really care about Mano too much over here at Inside the Industry, but he had something to say. I'm not even going to really play his clip, but he said, for all you people out there, shut the fuck up. If you never got invited to a Diddy party, you should have no reason to be speaking on this. You know, so clearly he was in the parties. He said he was just with Puff at a party a couple months ago when the album dropped, and he said it was a monster party. It was a great time, and he doesn't know anything about none of the other stuff people are talking about. So at least you got a few people defending you, Diddy. You got Nick Cannon, you got Mano, you got Charlemagne, which I haven't spoken on because I just haven't felt the need to give him the platform to say what the fuck he got to say, because nigga, all of this goddamn prophesizing and shit that you be doing, all this therapy talk, all this mental health talk, and you got the nerve to back a motherfucker talking about, oh, I hate everybody trying to tarnish this nigga legacy, when there's real ass victims out here. Some people, yeah, maybe they faking, maybe they lying, but we at least know for sure Cassie, that nigga paid, Before I get started, that's all I got for y'all, man. Be sure to like and share the video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I'm going to catch y'all a little bit later. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Much love and respect to y'all. Peace. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.